Game 1, Alliance tried to get gimmicky, and EG slapped him down for it, taking the win. Game number 2 was push on push, but Alliance had a little bit more push that time around. Took him 36 minutes. EG held out admirably, but in the end, they gave up the loss. And now, Game 3 in this in-house showdown. Alliance taking on Evil Geniuses in Alliance's bid to improve to 5-0, while EG is just looking for their first win in Western HyperX D2L play. I'm your host here in AC Chambers, joined as always by Ben Merlini Wu. And I'll tell you what, man, you know, you can say what you want. Alliance did show us a gimmicky draft and experimentation, all that. EG just flat out outplayed him. It's one thing to pick something unorthodox. That doesn't mean it's not good necessarily. Maybe it's a little unstable. Maybe you don't have a lot of room for error. Maybe the ceiling for execution is a little bit higher. But EG played well that game. And in Game 2, I don't feel like they played terribly either. Alliance obviously played better. But coming into Game 3, this really is anyone's match, and it's all going to be based on the draft. Looking forward to seeing what these two teams are going to show us. Clock and Lifestealer are the first two out from Alliance. Bat and Weaver round out the first two for EG.
But the bat again worked for them in Game 1. Not surprised to see them pick it up in Game 3.
Yeah, it's was a solid bat out of MSS, and you know, like you said, it wasn't super standoutish. It wasn't something that's like, oh, it's an amazing bat rider, but he did his job, and he did it pretty damn well.
I like that voice.
That's my mumbly voice. But Alliance grabbing up the clock and the Lifestealer. Clockwork has been played phenomenally well by Admiral Bulldog. We've been seeing him shy away from Lone Druid quite a bit over the last week or two. And he's been playing a lot more clock, certainly been playing a lot of Furion and a lot of Bounty Hunter as well. But his clock is deceptively good. I mean, when you think of Bulldog and his signature heroes, you don't put clock in that. Usually you think of the top three, certainly the top two, the Druid, the Prophet, and the Bounty. But now going to be a method of conveyance for Lotus Lifestealer.
And the Rubik pickup, we saw the Rubik versus Mag, but Fog just unable. I think he stole it once, but it was just a little bit too late. He also stole Omni Slash a couple of times, but Rubik doesn't actually do that much damage. And with that nerf to Rubik plus Scepter, where he doesn't steal it if he doesn't have the Scepter, just doesn't really do that much. It's a good support though. They just needed to get more done early on with the Chen and the Rubik. They didn't really get a kill on S4 and middle, and MSS was not able to control them on their own. But it looks like Alliance will pick it up this time, shying away from their. They seem to rotate like a few supports. They use CM a lot. They use Venom a lot. They also use Visage a lot too. Those are the three I see them use the most, and they've been shying away from Chen and the Lone Druid, as you talked about recently.
Yeah, they tend to favor. I mean, Chen is a very aggressive hero, but he is one of those heroes that's aggressive in a slightly different way. He can't be as aggressive as, for an example, as a CM in terms of teleporting into towers and trying to make ganks happen that way with smoke. He has to wander, corner of the map to corner of the map to make those things happen. And Alliance has been opting for a bit of a different play style. You know, they've been wanting to be a little bit more, for lack of a better word, unpredictable, a little bit more herky-jerky. You know, you just, instead of just walking, you know, just fall back, teleport somewhere, smoke just yourself, and make something happen that way, especially with the defensive tri-lane becoming less and less common, and the 2-1-2 becoming the norm at this point. So a +1 in any situation like that does have a way of translating into an immediate win and sometimes an immediate tower. Alliance grabs up the puck, and EG got to answer with the Timbersaw.
Puck, very good hero for S4. And yeah, for some reason he just wasn't hitting his RPs last game. Puck, a much easier hero to execute, but still, in terms of initiation, but still very, very difficult hero to play. And another method for Lifestealer to just jump in. So they have some good initiation and counter initiation. And they have just very tough to kill heroes. Like Bane's Grip is very likely to be stopped. Every single hero can interrupt it if it's cast on the Lifestealer. And Timbersaw is like decent. But like Clockwork, he's not really a tank. He's more of an initiator than a tank, and Lifestealer magic immune for most of the time anyways. So curious to see whether or not the Timbersaw pick will work out for them. Weaver are going to be very, very difficult to kill too.
Yeah, I like the way that Clockwork matches up against that Bane and against Bad Rider both. He's Clock's just a hero who can shut both of those heroes down in terms of trying to blink lasso. And little things like Rocket Flare, the fact that Rocket Flare could put a Bad Rider's Blink Dagger on cooldown, that can make it very difficult for EG to feel confident taking a fight, at least for a few seconds. And having the hook shot to stun out, to mini stun the Bane out of Fiend's Grip, same thing with Telekinesis, same thing with the mini stun associated with Puck's Dream Coil. You know, Bane's a decent pickup here, is always going to be a good pickup against the Lifestealer, but it is going to be a little bit difficult to execute unless EG is very, very patient and when they decide to pop that grip.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be this lineup's again, the Bane's like okay. It's like okay versus Lifestealer, but Bane just doesn't really fit, I guess, in this in the playstyle for 6.79. Like, he's not that dominant of a lane controller. He's like so in dual lanes. He's like really good with bottom, but aside from that combo, he's just like mediocre at best. He's like very low range. He's not good at like split pushing either, which a lot of teams like to do nowadays. I'm not a huge fan of the Bane pickup. I guess they want to match it up versus Lifestealer, but like Alliance can just be very unpredictable with their lanes now.
Yeah, I'll tell you another hero he's good with that I think, just throwing out a prediction here, I think we're going to see Leshrac become more and more popular as more time passes. We've been seeing some teams have some real success with him, and he does fit into the 6.79 playstyle quite well, I think. The fact that what he really needs is levels. Items, not that important to him so long as he's very well played in the early game. He's going to have his magic damage, and once you get a few points into Split Earth, those become very easy to hit. Being able to chain Split Earth off of Nightmare, certainly that's a nice combination. But then to have the ability to chase down a hero and also have mid-game damage. You know, if you can stay alive in some of these mid-game fights as a Leshrac, especially if you get up into the higher levels, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11, where you're going to have your ultimate, you're going to have max Split Earth, you're going to have max Diabolic Edict. I just think it fits very, very well. With the 6.79 playstyle, might be a hero on the come, because the last few times we've seen it played, it has actually worked out very well for the teams involved. So the draft now done. Shadow Shaman going to be the 5th pickup from EG, adds a little bit of push to their lineup, as well as a fair amount of lockdown. And Gyrocopter it's going to be a support gyro. I was going to say, we'll see which one Load is going to be on. It will be the support gyro.
Yeah, and with the Fog on Shadow Shaman, I would prefer to see them run like a Chen or a Pugna with their lineup, just so they have the threat of the push that Alliance constantly has to worry about. But if it's just a Shadow Shaman and he like plays up too far, you just hook shot him and kill him. Not a big deal. Alliance's lineup is decent. Gyrocopter support, like, it was like decent last time. I think it would have done well with like any other support, but it's still pretty good. Just a lot of damage, and if he dies, he usually gets most of his damage off anyways. Loda looks like he will be part of the tri-lane, and nothing unpredictable coming out from us coming out from Alliance.
Take a look at our lineups as both teams seem disinterested in crossing the river early on. We'll have Fear playing on the Bane this time. We're going to have Jo back on the Weave. We saw him have a lot of success on the Weaver in game number 1. Shadow Shaman going to be handled by Fog, with Bat Rider played by MSS for the 2nd time as well. Looked good in his last appearance on the Bat. Universe will be setting up shop as our Timbersaw out in the offlane. On the other side of the river, S4 going to be playing on the Puck. Gyrocopter going to be handled by Ake. Lifestealer will be played by Loda, no surprise there. With Rubik played by EGM this time. Fog did play a fairly good Rubik in game 2, just not enough to get EG over the hump. And then Admiral Bulldog, as predicted, going to be back on the clock. And you know, it's Clockwork is just such a popular hero, works so well in the current way that 6.79 is showing us teams want to play. And Bulldog, again, I think it is very heavily underestimated just how good he is on this hero.
They actually switched off the Observer rewards too. It's now in Gyrocopter's inventory after Admiral Bulldog placed one on bottom, or actually it's in wait, who took it? It was just in Gyrocopter's inventory. Oh, he actually placed it over here. So they have their rewards pretty nicely set up to protect S4 in mid.
Okay, babysitting a rune. That's a haste he's just kind of hovering over at the moment. And we'll see when he wants to pick it up. In the meantime, Loda and EGM going in the lane. He's going to haste on in and take a peek at what's going on here in mid. Might try to make something happen. Nope. Fear going to be there, and the one blast of sticky napalm. A by your leave as he heads back to lane. Up now, hang on. Universe is actually in danger here. Okay, we'll be able to get right on top of him. Halftime on that haste rune. And doing what damage he can. There's the telekinesis. And throwing him back on the corner. Ake doesn't have enough haste left to really dive reliably, so they'll just take the damage. Yeah,
I thought he was going to try and do it. Maybe if like EGM went up and tanked a little bit while Aki dove with haste, it would have been a pretty low probability kill. But Universe just able to sell back up, as is Aki.
All right, so taking a look at the way the lanes are shaping up, especially now that Fear has rotated into lane, and Feeble so annoying on an early level Lifestealer. Who do you give the laning advantage to here, Merlini?
I just say Alliance. I like their lineup a lot better. Like, Rasta is like nice when you have the option to push, but they don't really have the option to push. They have a more gank oriented lineup, and Bane just doesn't really fit into the lineup very well. So I think just based off lineup alone, Alliance is nice. Alliances is nicer. And both heroes in mid probably going to get blink like around the relatively same time. Lifestealer actually might get kited a lot in the later game fights, and that's something that I am slightly concerned about for Alliance's lineup. But as long as they have decent execution with Puck and Clockwork, then it should be fine. Ichi really has to find levels on Shadow Shaman, which is going to be very difficult considering he is trying to zone Admiral Bulldog out, and they also need levels on Bane, and he's against a tri lane. So I don't think either of the two supports on their side are going to do exceptionally well, and meanwhile they always have to worry about the kill potential from this tri lane.
Just want to point out, Loda's actually doing a pretty phenomenal job last hitting with Enfeeble constantly on him. He's only got 34 attack damage. He's doing a pretty solid job. Yep, gets another one there. Sitting at 7 CS. Jo, though, the big winner from the current laning phase, sitting at 13 CS, off to a great start. And maybe this is just Jo's hero, man. We saw him have a lot of success in Game 1.
Wow, S4 just missed a lot of last hits. He should have his bottle by now. He missed like 4 last hits right there, and he's suffering a little bit in terms of CS.
Yep, gonna miss another one. And there we go.
There he goes. There's his bottle money.
He'll fall back and snag it right now. Meantime, we could be very well in for another quiet laning phase. These two teams have just shown
totally
us.
think so.
Yeah, they've shown us they don't care, man. They will just farm their items up. And Fear just continuing to be as annoying as possible, throwing out constant Enfeeble spam.
Yep, and there's the boots already up on Rasta and desperately trying to get a kill on Admiral Bulldog, but he's just so far back. He's shooting a rocket to block the spawn across 3 minutes. Very, very nice timing by him to block that spawn with a rocket. And yeah, you can tell he's very experienced with a hero.
And he's actually doing really well for himself. He's got more experience than the Rasta does, despite being in such a threatening position. I mean, a Weaver plus a Rasta, especially with Rasta now having Ether Shock plus Shackles, and he probably appointed a Hex here momentarily. A lot of kill potential there so far, keeping safe. Same up at top. Loda continuing to CS pretty damn well here.
Wow, he actually left the lane so the supports can get more experience. That's pretty interesting. I guess he's not going to be able to get that much CS because Bane constantly with Enfeeble was really annoying for him.
Yep, Ake taking over the farming priority in the lane and taking on they may transition Ake to more of a farm heavy role.
Yeah, it's not a bad move. And Lifestealer is still annoying even if he doesn't have that many items, just being able to latch onto somebody. If you're checking a 4-minute rune on mid, S4 looks like MSS was playing slightly aggressively. Rune will spawn on top, most likely secured for MSS.
Still very quiet as night comes. Fear taking a longing look at the regen until MSS is there to snag it up, spins a tango in the meantime. Bulldog is now level 3, so halfway to hookshot, certainly where he wants to be. Weaver sitting at level 5.
If they ping him out, I'm not exactly sure why Jo pinged him. I don't think they can kill him at all. We'll see. I'm also curious to see what build Weaver will go. I don't think he should go Midas. I think he should, let's see. BKB is pretty good here. Link is not so good. It's not so good versus Buck.
Universe eating a lot of damage, and it's worth mentioning, you know, we talked about this the last time we saw support Gyrocopter. I'm pretty sure he was up against the Timbersaw in that game as well. And hell, it probably was Alliance who drafted it for this particular purpose. Yep, Bulldog caught with Shackles, has some creeps he's trying to skip, and he'll lose a couple, but we'll be able to get a couple of free ones heading his way. Maybe, is there a deny? Nope. I'll be able to take that one. But an early game Gyrocopter played support or carry regardless. It looks like Ake will be getting phase boots, so he is transitioning to more of a carry-esque role. The early points in the Rocket Barrage really are a decent counter to Timbersaw, especially one who's putting a lot of points into reactive armor early. Really makes him think twice about trying to engage into a lane like
this. Midas on Weaver.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
I mean, I guess he's farming fine. 5.5 minutes is pretty respectable timing for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's, you know, let's talk about what they're doing with Ake here. Transitioning him to a pure farm role and sticking Loda into the jungle to do his thing in there. If you're on EG's squad and you see this happening, I mean, obviously they've recognized, they may not know exactly where Loda is, but they figured it out by now, I'm sure. Up, Shackles on, Bulldog unable to follow it up. Jo could have gone for that. He has time.
I am lagging out, so you're going to have to cover.
That's fine. I can do that. Just in case, though. I mean, if are you lagging out of the game, or are you lagging out?
I'm lagging out of the game.
Okay, we'll get you back in momentarily. As you work your way back in, though, I do want to go ahead and ask this question. Let's say you're in EG's shoes here, and you know what they're doing, that they're transitioning this gyro to a more farm-heavy role. How do you adapt to that? Is there anything you do different? Hold that thought. MSS going to be engaged upon on mid. Pops the Dream Coil. Will be silenced out, and the open wounds is there. Fog's there to try and help. MSS will be our first blood. S4 takes it. and the rest of Alliance pulls back. So Fog made his way over with a DD, just not enough to get his buddy out of trouble. And I see you've reconnected to the game, my friend. Welcome back.
My Dota crashed.
Oh. Yep, now you disconnected. That's okay. You worry about that. I'll worry about commentating. So we'll save that question from Merlini once he gets back in. So getting the early kill there, certainly of quite high value. It was Puck that took it. And being able to hold MSS down, delay his Blink Dagger, delay his item progression, very, very important for Alliance's squad. They hit his shrine, and it's going to open up a nice window of opportunity for Admiral Bulldog as well. He's coming up on level 6. He is benefiting a lot from that rotation of the Shadow Shaman. It looks like EG wants to go out for a little bit of revenge. Level 6 on MSS means he can go for a lasso, and he would probably have to land a flame break to make it happen. But again, Bulldog in a really nice position down here, and has Loda come back out? He has. Okay, so not going to be a permanent farming role for Ake. Instead, just getting him some levels, getting up some basic items, phase boots, and he'll have his magic wand just as soon as he wants it. Fear continuing to be annoying as he possibly can, enfeebling out Loda. And Ake, though, 3 points in the rocket barrage. If they can get a good telekinesis off here with EGM, they could make something happen. And he's going to spot someone out. That was Fear heading down that way, unable to get into range. But so far, the game remains relatively quiet. Jo, our big winner in terms of CS, he's at 54 CS right now. They might... Nope, not going to be able to catch Universe. Rotation from Fogged is there. He's not quite level 6 yet, just about to hit level 5. And Jo, with his Midas up, he's going to have a great chance to just become huge in the mid-game, so long as they can keep Alliance from putting on the pressure. Problem is, again, with MSS's Blink Dagger delayed as much as it has been so far, could be a little bit problematic. They're just not going to have that space-creating potential they certainly would like to have. He is rushing it, though, I would imagine. He's got 1,200 gold in the bank, so more than halfway to it. And if they can kill him one more time, it'll put Alliance in a fantastic position, as we're going to see Bulldog ready to roam now at level 6.5. Merlini, my friend, are you back with us?
I am connecting.
All right, cool.
I'm on the load screen.
So as you're loading in, and hopefully there won't be any issue with you getting back in, I just want you to think about there you are. The question that I posed to you, and it's kind of irrelevant now, but you see Ake take over a bit of a farming role and Loda duck into the jungle. Does that change the way that you think about this early game, or does that change what adaptations, if any, do you make if you're in EG?
I think you just rotate your supports on top and just switch to a 3-on-2 situation of them, because Rasa wasn't able to zone out the Clockwork on bottom. Admiral Bulldog already level 6, almost level 7 right now, and if Loda's in the jungle, he's not going to be like sitting behind it waiting to counter open wounds. Loda looks like he narrowly escapes right there, and then you can just go on the gyrocopter and or the Rubik, because they're going to be very under leveled at that point, and him staying down here, it's not really doing him any good. He's like getting some levels, but still he could be killing the gyrocopter up top and making them pay for putting him on the farm priority like that. But gyrocopter already has his phase, but he is already level 6 and looks like he will get away with that farm.
Bad miss there from Bulldog. He's going to throw the call down out.
Nice tree eating.
And, oh, wow, he actually gets the Hex off. Here comes Jo, and Ake going to be punished for his insolence. Shackled out, uses the wand charge, is not going to matter. Couple of auto attacks.
Better about that. They should have just backed off as soon as the hookshot missed, and after the call down missed, too. But, like, after both those spells, they still went in. That's just being very, very greedy.
Bulldog going to find himself an Invis rune, rotating now towards mid. And
they have a ward, though. They should have seen it coming, and if Fear doesn't back off right now, that just means he didn't see it coming.
Oh, he might die because he was talking. He was junk talking. He was typing 1v1 champ. That let Bulldog track him down.
That is some hubris right there.
Yep. That is... That's 4-1. And Bulldog says we have a winner. Oh, that's glorious. Oh, Fear. Caught out by your own hubris, indeed. And Universe going to make his way to mid.
Dropping a ward on bottom already, too. This will be our first tower of the game already taken down.
Oh,
silly Fear.
Oh, God, Fear. That is hilarious. And S4 is going to show up. He's got a coil at the ready and will spend it on Fog. Waning Rift only got the one, though. Didn't catch Jo with it. Ake's there to drop the call down. Jo has time lapse if he needs it. And doesn't look like he's interested. Oh, nice phase shift. Will it be enough? Buy some time. He doesn't have enough mana for time lapse now, but doesn't look like Ake wants to take the chance. He's going to die to the wards.
No.
So,
and Jo got experience too. So he's 1-0 and 2. He has been involved in all of the kills. He's a level 11 minutes in, and his net worth is off the charts.
Yep. I think they found JO's hero, my friend. They're talking about big changes, #big changes going on with EG's performance being up and down over the last couple of weeks. And I think the big change needs to be pick the weave and let JO do what he does. Bulldog's going to spot him out. Gets the cogs down, has very little mana, doesn't even have enough for another Shikuchi, at least not for another few seconds, but able to hook back up with University MSS and make it to safety. Loda picked up a Midas for himself, by the way, so settle in. We could be in for a long one.
Yep. Farm Fest. Go for it.
Farm Fest D2L 2013. And taking a look at the gold graph now, we're sitting at 3 kills apiece. It's 1,000 gold advantage currently for EG. Taking down the first tower, obviously, that's going to account for that. The experience is actually slightly in their favor as well. So still very, very tight game early on. Who do you give the advantage to here through our first 12 minutes?
I say EG, just because they have a super farmed Weaver. He's going to have his Lincolns at a very, very high pace, and they haven't been able to punish his Midas at all. And they don't really have that good lockdown for him, especially with Puck not being able to have his blink. He's probably going to have it about the same time that Weaver gets his ultimate orb too. That death over there was pretty costly. Had he not died there, he'd be really close to his blink, and then they can keep killing him over and over, or at least killing someone like these two heroes up here with a blink. But he has to spend the next couple of minutes farming, and that is going to hurt them a lot.
Bulldog's got a passenger and went looking for a hook, unable to find one. As MSS able to withdraw, he could have used one of these. Yeah, I was going to say if he uses one of those illusions, he might be able to bait a hook out. Obviously, seeing 2 of them, he's going to know exactly what's up. But there's a rotation heading down that way. S4 was enfeebled, but will be no longer. Ake coming as well. This is some decent push here if they want to try and put some pressure on in the meantime. You can see Universe just continuing to farm away. He's tanking up all right. He's got his arc boots up as well as a point booster.
Bane is doing pretty well too. He needs his level 6 as soon as possible, though the only hero in the game not to have his ultimate yet. And yeah, Loda's farming a lot, but he needs to get kills on a very easy to kill hero like Shadow Shaman, especially before Bane hits level 6. That's just a free kill for him. But choosing to play passively, and then a Weaver's going to be just super elusive later. They're looking for a hookshot on MSS. Is he going to find it?
He's waiting it out. And he killed the illusion. Bulldog, we're going to keep an eye on him because there's not a whole lot else happening on the map. There is some rotation coming through the jungle. Looks like wisely the MSS going to get out of range. S4's making his way down. We're going to hear a TP up the top.
Oh, they see Fogged. Rocket.
There it is. Bulldog will connect this time. Got the wards down. And did he trap Loda? Yeah, they're trapped. They're eating a lot of damage from the Chakram now. And, he actually whiffed on the Timber Chain. He might have been able to kill Bulldog there if he hadn't a whiffed. I don't know if he just hit a tree in front of him or what, but definitely missed on it.
Yep, now they're finally getting kills with Loda, and this is exactly what they need to do. Just pick off a super easy to kill hero like Shadow Shaman. They can even farm the wards that they want to. EGM unfortunately was not able to steal the Serpent wards, but if he steals it, that's a very easy, probably pretty easy T1 for them. JO meanwhile just farming up, Universe protecting the wards.
And Bad Rider, with the help of Fear, finds a kill on Puck, and looks like, they used the Fiend's Grip to make it happen. We might have a collapse up here at top. We've got 2-on-3, just Loda plus EGM at the moment as Bulldog is rattle trapping his way on home. What did EGM get? Managed to get Chakram. Not too shabby a spell to have at all, especially in a situation like this. Loda will be spotted out and harassed by JO, immediately pinged out by Loda. And he's going to be forced back with that, having no idea just how much support he has behind him. And we're going to need you to turn on your Dota TV once again, Merlini.
Oh, sure thing. All right.
And sorry about that, Dota TV viewers. As soon as we find out, we, of course, get things a-rolling. And, of course, that time, not anyone's fault, just Merlini crashing, and I'm sure your settings defaulting back to off.
That is correct. And the Alliance haven't really gotten too much out of the supports. EGM 0-0-1 right now, and Aki 1-2-0. Usually they're much more active around the map. It hasn't been a very active game in general, but they do have a lot of good spells to steal. Mass Serpent Ward, Fiend's Grip, even Shikuchi is pretty nice, but unable to get a hold of any of those. And Admiral Bulldog not connecting with his hookshot on bottom too, just missing out on a couple of kills here and there.
S4 is getting very close to his Blink Dagger and not going to be helped out if they catch him. There's the silence. Could not have timed it better. MSS was right on top of him, and he's going to jaunt away. MSS, 5 seconds on his Blink, and the hook going to be dodged, but the coil is not going to be dodged. Jo and MSS both caught. They're heading for the high ground. S4 has to get out of there. Nice telekinesis. Sends Jo up to the high ground. The jaunt away. There's the Timbersaw going after S4. Will he be able to find him? MSS is right on him. In the meantime, the fight goes on behind us. They're finally able to track him down. Didn't know if Alliance is going to engage off of that call down. But EGM actually got grip, so EGM managing to steal Fiend's grip there.
Yeah, but miss hookshot again, and S4 still, his blink is being delayed. 16 minutes in, still no blink dagger by Puck. That is very unusual for S4. Looks like EG is going to take another easy tower.
EG takes the tower, but so does Alliance. Alliance able to take the tier 1 as Loda bangs it down. Mass Serpent Wards, tough to keep towers up when these bad boys are laying around. 17 minutes in. EG has the kill lead. EG has the gold lead, though it is heading down in favor of Alliance even after that exchange. The experience lead, though, is still heading up in their favor.
Yeah, EG, very inconsistent team. And the first game, Alliance, you can say, just they were playing around, maybe making funny picks, but this game is certainly not the case. It's not like they have any unusual picks. It's heroes that they're all very comfortable with, heroes that they played multiple times before, and EG playing this well in their early game really impresses me. It just seems like they found some discipline, and they actually found heroes that they're really comfortable with. Like, for example, Fear played Earthshaker the other day and just wandered around like a chicken with his head cut off once they block his ancient spawns. And Jo on the Alchemist, he had a lot of free farm and wasn't able to make anything happen, even with like a Midas and phase boost up at like 6 or 7 minutes or something like that. So now that they have like heroes that they're very comfortable with, they're just playing extremely well and giving Alliance a good run for the money. I mean, they're in the lead right now. We could potentially see EG come up with an upset.
Yeah, no joke. Jo in particular sitting pretty. He's got 8,200 net worth, even higher than Loda's at this point. And really, I think that's what a lot of this comes down to. I mean, Jo, again, I mean, he's kind of been all over the place in the roles he's played. I mean, he's no stranger to carry. He's also no stranger to mid, so on and so forth. And with the new squad, I mean, he has been the subject of a lot of criticism. We'll finish that conversation momentarily as it looks like S4 is ready to go in and will hit a two-man coil. Silence on MSS. He's gone. Universe not around for long. Fiend's grip just nice in case. And Fear next to be blown up. Jo is dancing around, as is Fog. He's going to go ahead and trap in Loda. And Loda able to phase through them. Well, no, won't make it around. It was actually the little grubby from the Swarm that killed him as he was trying to run away, and he toggled his armlet off. Jo right on Bulldog's tail. And Ake using Rocket Barrage. Just the sound, scary enough. Oh, nice reinitiation by S4 onto Fog, and he jaunted away from those auto attacks from the Mass Serpent Wards. Don't know that they would have killed him. They certainly would have hurt him. So that's a 4-for-2 trade. They did get the LS, though, so doesn't look like Alliance going to be able to get a whole lot more out of it than what you see right now.
Yeah, the blink from S4 coming out at that time was just so perfect for them. It was a little bit later than they would have liked, but still, they just made so much happen with it. Completely caught EG off guard. Usually with your Bat Rider, you want to be in the back in case something like that happens, but he was caught out in front, just feeling very confident, and EG with slight lapse in judgment just completely blow their lead, and the lead is probably back to 0 at that point, although it was very important that they ended up killing Loda.
Yep, their lead. I mean, it wasn't
smoking. Looks like Loda is going to be dead. A dead ghoulie.
Yep. Fear. Is he going to be the one to take the charge? Looks like Universe is the one they want serving as bait. Loda has ducked into the jungle. He's now cleaning up the pool camp. He's got a little bit of support behind him. This is going to be MSS going to look and going to take the flight and manages to catch Loda. The courier just drops something off to him. It's actually Assange. He's going to be Fiend's grip, but the reinitiation. Coil goes off, as does the hook, and Alliance cleaning up a botched smoke gank attempt. And that's the thing, man. That gank attempt, I'll tell you what was wrong with it. This tier 1's still up. That's so hard to do against this team from Alliance. They have so much mobility. There's no way you can just say, oh, well, just because their tier 1's up doesn't mean we can't get in there and blow him up.
Not only that, it looks like Jo make an easy kill on EGM.
Yep. Take a free one.
Yeah, but Loda, something that's very small, he actually just went to creep. He was like over here, he's like, I'm not going to creep that camp. I'm going to creep this camp because it's a lot safer. If he creeps this camp, they pull him across the river and his team can't help. It's not one blink's distance within the... Oh, there's a fight.
Yeah, there's a fight. S4 phase shifts out of some of the damage. Bulldog looks like he saved him. I got there a little tardy to the party as well. Jo gonna Shikuchi in, and S4 might end up dead because of it. Nope, not yet. Loda enough.
That is very dangerous by Jay. I mean, like Blink Silence can still kill him. Lincoln's does not make you invulnerable.
Yep.
But they were scared of people coming up by him. But yeah, Loda just went to the small camp instead. If he wasn't in the small camp, that fight wouldn't have happened, or he would just gotten picked off, gripped, and no one would have been there to save him. But yeah, that T1 tower being up, just one Blink distance away, instant coil by S4 as soon as the Bat Rider showed himself. Just very, very quick reactions by Alliance and very good position by Loda.
We're at 21 and a half minutes in, 19 kills. Alliance has 11 of them. And yeah, you'll talk about blown lead. Pretty big blown lead. 3,000 gold to swing just over the last few minutes. And the experience also well in favor of Alliance now, up to about 3,000 itself. So, I mean, EG down, certainly not out. Continuing to farm the Weaver up. Lincoln's is up. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see Jo go with a Deso build. He's got 1,500 gold towards it right now. Here in mid, we're going to see MSS caught out. And are they going to be able to clean him up? Uses his wand charges. Yep. Bulldog on a dominating streak. Fogged is there, shows off his blink. And EGM flying. And there's another good coil at S4. Got two. Fear's not going to have any chance. Blown up by Rocket Barrage. And S4 has just been flat out balling, for lack of a better way to put it. He has hit every coil he's needed. Not hitting big 5-man coils, but hitting the extremely well-positioned 2-man coils.
And the inexperience of MSS is really showing compared to a player like S4. Like, S4 was having a really difficult time, and he's under farmed. He got his blink and is just came roaring back into the game. MSS, on the other hand, got his blink dagger very, very fast. 1 and 4, put his team in two bad positions. Both fights exactly in the same place in this fight in the middle. Getting initiated on as Bat Rider is exactly what you do not want to do. You want him to be able to counter initiate or initiate, not the one being initiated on. And they... I think that's just more of an experience thing, though. That he doesn't expect Alliance to be that aggressive when he thinks they have a lead, but Alliance will take any opportunity that they give them.
Oh yeah, I would actually argue it's the opposite. Alliance, a lot of their success is rooted in the fact that just because they have a lead doesn't mean they're content to sit on it and farm and give you time. And that's a mistake we see a lot of teams make in both the East and the West. LGD International is a great example of a team who needs to change, who needs to adopt that mentality. We've seen multiple times just this season of D2L give away a number of leads by just sitting back and just expecting to keep a lead based on nothing but time. And Alliance just not that way. When they get a lead, they tend to press it. That's why we've seen Alliance hang a couple of sub-20-minute losses on teams already.
Yeah, and when they start to get behind, they just pick smarter fights, which is just exceptional by them.
Bane caught out and hooked in. And he's going to be force-staffed out, but cleaned up. There's a call down as well. S4 is going to land another coil, this time just on Universe. S4 is taking a lot of damage. There's going to be MSS trying to grab Loda. Wards go down, but Loda not trapped by them. 3 for 1, the current exchange. Ake just flying in circles, looking to make something happen. Fogged will be able to ether shock his way to safety after bringing down the gyrocopter. EGM and Loda still standing, but just barely. 3 for 2 the exchange, so finally, EG gets themselves a nice little win, and that puts Jo all the more closer to his Deso.
Yep, and Bloodstone already out on Timbersaw too. His respawn time is very, very quick. And Jo is getting to the point where they need something else to lock him down. Like, they need a sheep stick, they need an orchid, they need something like that, just because he is just living in all these fights. He hasn't died yet this game, and he's going to do incredible amounts of damage when he has that Deso up. And they may be able to do a Roshan very easily with it too if they ever get map control. But I mean, they can just smoke in, drop awards, and any medallion or just Desolator, and they can do it very, very easily. And then Weaver's Life X2, that is just extremely hard to deal with. They even had a very good initiate. They like almost immediately picked out the Bane that fight.
Yeah, it was a nice turnaround by EG. There's really no other way to say it. They just played him very, very well that time. On the back of that fight, we can see they stopped the bleeding and got the gold graph moving slightly in their direction. Still Alliance's lead, but at 25 minutes, 4,000 gold, 5,000 experience is in no way insurmountable. We can see Jo has had another outstanding game on the Weave. 5-0-5. 5-1 for Bulldog as he's really led the way for Alliance along with S4, who has died a few more times than I'm sure he would have liked, but has tallied just as many kills as he has deaths. Loda sitting at 3-1, not too shabby, and Ake even getting 3 kills on this gyro, though he has died a couple of times as well. Net worth-wise, Loda and Jo right on top of each other. Then it's a pretty wide gulf to the next one down for EG. So right now, pretty much all of their hope resting on our little Weaver.
Ew, S and Y.
Ew. Someone actually did tweet that to me. Apparently S and Y, I want to say has I don't want to quote it with that because I just glanced at it in between games. I didn't really read it, but S and Y has been built a bunch.
Coming out.
Here we go. S4. This could
Notice
be
J.O.'s in
horrible.
front right now instead of MSS, which
This
is really good.
could be horrible. J.O. bypasses it. They're going to get a couple. Nope, never mind. He's not going to go for it. Now he is. And the coil. Nope, there it is. Got a couple following the waning rift. Fog's blown up. Fear's going to be able to grip Loda. But how long will it last? Yeah, he's going to get off an almost full grip. That was about as much as they could have expected to get reasonably. So they are 2 for 2, and S4 is going to have to run and jaunt away to the other side. Bulldog out of that fight as well. And Fear's grip made the difference there. Make no mistake about it. J.O. now going to be... Oh, he got caught in front of a sentry. Great sentry placement out of Alliance. And great awareness of Admiral Bulldog. Didn't have long to react. Didn't have a hook to get on top of him. That sentry there may have just turned this game, because without that, he might have been able to chase down 1, if not 2 heroes.
That was really big. And also S4 finding the initiation on the right heroes. He doesn't go on the Weaver because he's extremely hard to kill.
Right.
He goes on a really squishy heroes. He goes on the Bane as well as a Shadow Shaman. They're just able to pick a Shadow Shaman off like almost every fight very, very quickly before he can do that much damage. The longer Shadow Shaman lives, the more damage he's going to be. Universe just almost dying to a Blade Mail.
Yep. Bulldog is hexed. Now he's going to drop the cogs. The Universe Timber Chains right into it. Shackles on him. Chakram, going to be tough for him to deal with, and that will be the death of the dog. And MSS continuing to look for stragglers. EGM, though, well out of the way as S4 retreated as well. So they
look at Admiral Bulldog. Like right before he died, he bought his Staff of Wizardry. This is something that's really small too, that sets Alliance apart from the other teams. They're really good just about spending their gold all the time and having as much reliable gold as possible and not losing any unreliable gold.
This Hero Sentry here, basically, that Hero Sentry produced that tower, no doubt about it. And really quick reaction out of the dog as well. 14-21, and Alliance continuing to build this lead. It was slightly heading in favor of EG, but you know, at 28 minutes, again, it's all about the weave. The difference between Weaver and the next highest farmer on the side of EG is in the realm of 6,000 gold. So you're talking like the difference of a butterfly between the top and the second highest for EG. They're gonna get mileage out of Timbersaw because of the way the hero works.
We just saw how easily he died though. He was at like 60% HP and he died to Clockwork and Puck. Like if Life Stealer is there, he just absolutely destroys him. Looks like he has actually disassembled his SNY into a Heaven's Halberd and a Yasha, so I like that.
Yep. Okay, and EGM going to lead the way into the Roche Pit. They're going to be happy to trade to Tier 1 if they can for an Aegis. And an Aegis on Loda at this point could be very problematic.
They're smoking though. They are ready.
They're going to have to get there quick.
I don't know if they're going to be able to take it out in time. Loda, it's about half HP. It's going to be very, very close. I think that they definitely know what's going on too, and EGM is going to scout it out, but nope, they will back it off because they know what's up. It will be such a terrible fight for them to take. Like someone gets lasted up the cliff, they drop the wards right here, and that fight is pretty much over from there. Oh, actually, wards are not up.
Yep, they had a ward across the river actually, and I'm
Counter
sure.
smoke.
Oh, are they going to loop around MSS?
No, the loopy loop. They have the observer ward there.
This is what we
do
call.
They see anyone?
You call it the loop-de-loop. I call it the okey-doke. Let's see if they can track him down. Looks like
wrap around the fake bag.
There you go. Adjectives aplenty here on D2L, guys.
Are they gonna spot him out? They might spot him out with observer ward. Nope, he actually does not run into it, so they still have no idea where he is. They actually ping out on Fog. But if Fear comes in a range of this observer ward, they're just gonna kill him.
Need to have a need to talk to our website guys and have them put up a poll. What do you call this? What take a fan poll? Okie doke, wrap around, fake back. What would you call this? S4 is going to go ahead and blink up, and MSS able to dodge the bullet that time, so not caught out. And Universe is going to wander back down this way. S4 still waiting on it. They might be able to blow him up. Yep, out he comes. He's silenced. They're not going to have to use the coil either. The rest of Alliance going to collapse on him. MSS comes in and lassos Loda, but S4 there along with the Bulldog. Fog trapped inside. Jo has a Lincoln's pop. Ake shackled for just a moment, but he drops as well. And there's the grip
steal
onto Jo.
No.
EGM has stolen the grip at least twice, maybe more this game. That's going to be a full 5-man wipe. And that might be your GG moment as Alliance now threatening the Tier 3. We see Timbersaw back up because of the Bloodstone, but not a lot he can do by himself.
That is just not... Oh, my goodness. They were so close to just coming out so far ahead on that fight with just Weaver beating on the Lifestealer while Lifestealer was gripped, but Universe just slightly out of position. You notice like when Alliance gets initiated on, for example, when Loda got initiated on top, boom, everyone's there to react. But they were able to pretty much kill Timbersaw before his team was able to react. So they have to work on just working together as a unit and being close together. I can understand why they don't want to be right next to each other, because S4 will just silence them all and they'll just die. But
speaking of,
look at Universe.
Yeah, speaking of silence everyone and just die, Universe just found that out. Ward's going to go down. Fear blown up very quickly. And the Wards, and yep, Ake's actually going to get a kill there with Flak Cannon. So I'm actually surprised they're backing here. They could have just...
pick up Roshan. There's no need for them to push out. Weaver is about to revive in about 4 seconds time, so they don't need to take any unnecessary risk. The gold lead is like 12,000, but it's not unthrowable.
Unthrowable.
Yeah. EG has to work on their positioning though in team fights. They have to be closer together as a team. Also, they're not getting enough mileage out of MSS. MSS, compare him to S4 because they're both initiated for the team, right? How many times have we seen Batrider initiate very nicely as opposed to Blink, Boom, Silence, Coil, and yeah, he doesn't have a payload inside of him, but he's still, that's his duty on the EG roster to create opportunities, and he still hasn't yielded a kill since the last time I talked about him. He's 1-4, now he's 1-7, and he just constantly keeps getting caught by stuff.
Oh, caught by stuff, you say? Universe. Oh, look, that's a pig wearing the reactive arm. That's adorable. And Universe gonna die for the 3rd time in just about as many minutes after being caught out by both Bulldog and S4 over and over this game. This has just not been Universe's game at all. He's at 3-5 now. I mean, he was hanging in there okay, but Jo trying to do what he can. He's got his Deso up. He's working on a BKB, so going with a hybrid survivability right-click kind of a build. Problem is the right-click is already much more intense on the side of Alliance. And we didn't even really talk about it when it came out, but this is a hybrid gyro. Started out as a support, then became a carry.
About to get blown up too. See, it's all these small mistakes that they're so good at capitalizing on. If you notice, Jo, he just stands still when he attacks a tower. What you need to do is just keep weaving around so that if you do get hookshot, you time lapse outside of the cog.
Right.
So there's all these small things that are just adding up, and Alliance is just so good at capitalizing on it. Fog, he has blink up in 3 seconds.
And into the woods he goes. 4 seconds. Oh, Fiend's grip from behind. Fear sacrificing himself for the greater good, I suppose, and Fog's still gonna die. That's just, I don't know what Fear was doing there. Like, he had no help at bottom.
Like, they're just falling apart like everywhere right now.
Yeah. Trying, I guess, dying in a noble gesture is probably the best way to characterize that.
My faith has been restored in EG's play, though. Like,
yeah.
It's not like they made any huge glaring errors. It's not like they tried to attempt Roshan when the other team clearly could have stopped them, or like made a push that was clearly going to go disastrously wrong. It wasn't like any big mistakes like that. It's just like small positioning errors here and there, like Weaver getting cogged, like at the Sentry Ward, him not weaving back and forth, so he gets owned by time lapse there. MSS always getting cogged down or blinked on and initiated like down the hill and middle. It's just very, very small positioning errors that add up, and a good team like Lions will just totally punish you so hard for it. But overall, I'm impressed with EG's performance, and looks like they are going to drop this series 2-1, but still very, very impressive.
Nice hook in. Cog's going to catch a couple, and I would imagine the GG's on the way. We're going to see S4 lassoed back. They might be able to get him. They're certainly not going to get loaded, though. He's in good shape, hitting very, very hard, even when enfeebled. And S4, how did S4 survive? I stopped watching him because I thought he was just dead for sure. Bulldog now banging away on Fog. Pops the blade mail. Fogged trying to bring down Loda. And Loda just has his Aegis pop. Not going to have a problem with that. Jo can come in and try to make something happen as a last-ditch attempt. And Bulldog actually tried to hook out. I didn't see if he did that on purpose or if it was on accident. There's the halberd used on Jo. And they're going to reinitiate. Jo caught out with grip again.
Oh, boy. EGM.
So sick, man. He has
0-1 to start off with, but like grips.
He's had grip all game. Like every time I've looked at him, he's had grip. That's going to be that as the GG Well Played comes out. A thrilling conclusion to a packed day of Dota. Alliance makes it 2 in a row on the day, 5 in a row in the division. 5-0, perfection almost attained. They only have 2 more series to go until they can claim a 7-0 finish. And for them, though, the big one's heading their way. They're going to be facing off against Na'Vi coming up next week. And in the end, again, because Alliance and Na'Vi both have defeated Fnatic, the other pretty clear front runner to finish, to have a chance to finish in that top qualifying spot out of the West, that match very well could determine who comes out. And obviously still a lot of Dota to be played, especially for Na'Vi. But if Alliance wins their next match, and I'm pretty sure they actually play Na'Vi as one of the last series of the entire thing, very, very high probability that they're going to finish 7 or 6. If they're going to come into that match 6-0, and if Na'Vi can string together the same wins the same way that Alliance has, they could be undefeated heading into that match on the last day of our play, and that will determine our grand final direct qualifier. So just to touch on what you said, though, I think EG can feel encouraged about this. They looked good in game 1, and you can make excuses, say, well, it was a pocket pick, it's a pocket strat. Doesn't matter if it's a pocket pick or a gimmick. I mean, it's Alliance. They're going to know how to execute it, otherwise they wouldn't pick it. And they beat them there. Game 2, obviously, didn't go their way, but game 3, I'm with you. I feel like they lost, and by the time you look at the goal graph at the end, just short of, actually right at 35 minutes, yeah, it looks pretty lopsided, and it was, but it wasn't because, like you said, they had these huge mental errors that have kind of been plaguing them for the last week.
I mean, EG's just been looking a lot better, though. They're getting it together after dropping best of 3 to VP. They're getting it together.
35 minutes, 18 seconds, the official game time. It's 15-39. The final kill score, Alliance once again pushed to a game 3, but comes out on top 2-1, defeating EG. EG falls to 0-2. Alliance improves to 5-0. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Just getting ready to do the sign-off stuff. Thank you again, guys, for being a part of Triple Header Thursday. It's been a blast. And be honest, first 2 series, maybe not the most competitive, kind of short, but certainly made up for it now with EG versus Alliance. And once again, want to thank you, Merlini, for being a part of the broadcast, my friend. Really happy that we have you on for this entire season. You know, we're coming down to the end of our Eastern Division, and if we can, I can't wait to see what the West has to show us as well. I mean, the East has kind of shaken itself out. Looks like LGD China probably will be the direct qualifier. But until then, I mean, we just got so much Western Dota ahead of us, my friend. So before we let you go, any final thoughts? And also make sure that you drop your details, my friend. And, of course, I had to wait. I had to wait. I said his name, Connie. You're supposed to pop it up when I say his name, Connie. Yeah, he's doing this. Okay. Anyway, once again, Merlini, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on all social media /Merlini Dota, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all the same. And be sure to tune in for tomorrow's cast, Liquid versus EG and Mouse versus VP. Those should be pretty exciting games. And thanks as always, ASC. It's been a pleasure casting with you.
Yep. Make sure you check out Merlini. Thank you as well, my friend. It's always a pleasure. Check him out on Twitter, on YouTube, elsewhere, especially all of you guys looking to improve your play and learn to get inside the head of the pros. Merlini, a former pro who has some of the best educational content out there on the web. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got 2 more best of 3s on the way, which Merlini so kindly just announced for us. And other than that, I think we're good. I think we can put a cherry on this one. This has been a D2L production in conjunction with Razer, Kingston HyperX, Monster Energy, and of course Astro. Thank you guys again for being here. Make sure you hit follow here on twitch.tv/D2L, and enjoy your evening and enjoy some Dota.